holding for general hugs.
Where are those transmissions you sent?
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
A communications disruption can mean only one thing.
Okay, I'll hold.
This is proof right here, guys. If you're watching this, you will not meet nicer people. Whoop, I'm going to point up.
I think I'm the only person who's ever written Star Wars for film, television, books, and comics.
Rogue One was awesome. I love the Han Solo movie, and then of course I love the Mandalorian.
It's like, that's Big Starklighter's helmet. So how did you know? Because I'm a nerd.
We cast you, and I told casting, I said, get Earl Brown to be Tonti. Holy shit, I've recreated Deadwood in space.
The galaxy isn't growing to push people out. It's growing to let more people come in and find their love so that it's able to continue and create this connective tissue.
There's Mark Hamill, there's Harrison Ford, there's Carrie Fisher. We're doing Star Wars.
Yeah, and the Rancor bit hit, and I went running out of the theater screaming my head off.
You know, and then you're just sitting with her as she's making dinner, you know, outside of an abandoned at AT-AT, sorry.
I've flexed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this 2 unit.
You know, you have people like Favreau, Filoni, who are like, you know, super fans, like everyone on this Zoom.
Cassie and Jen on the beach, and people are like, no. I can literally hear people go, no.
But, you know, I mean, I was doing my research, and Wedge was obviously a character that you had to use.
Spears never left me again. We're such soulmates that her being older and me being older was exactly where we were meant to be.
Coming back to a show that I dearly love and admire, so thanks for having me.
Because Darth Vader was the scariest thing that had ever happened to anybody, and this guy literally looks like the devil.
You don't do that. There is no trying.
I have had the best time ever on Around the Galaxy. Thank you so much.
That was one of the greatest intros ever. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, I have found my home. I have found my people.
Well, welcome to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. We have news, we have conversations, we have interviews, we have investing tips that will be coming up later in the show. Where to invest your hard-earned credits? Do you go all in on the Empire, or is this rebellion? Is it gonna impact the economy in 2025? I don't know. I'm just making that up. We do not listen to us for investing advice. Look behind me. I have all these stupid helmets and toys. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my money. Nick, welcome, Nick. Good to see you, my friend. How you been?
Good to see you. And I was going to say, spoiler alert, you need to invest all of that money in collectibles and Star Wars things, because the great lie that we were all told as kids is save these baseball cards. When you get old, it's going to be your retirement worth $1 million. I have a box full of baseball cards and they're not worth a damn thing. So right. It's the way it goes. But it doesn't matter, because we're here tonight to have some fun, to talk Star Wars, to hang out. We have some super fun guests I can't wait to talk to.
Oh my gosh.
Shortly.
Yes.
I guarantee you we're going to laugh. And we're going to do some stuff we don't normally do. We're going to do an unboxing in a few minutes.
Yes, I can't believe
that's a little
we're doing
new for us, but
that is
excited
new for
about
us.
that.
but we wouldn't be we're not even going to go through. Just go over here. You got all the ways to follow us. If you're here, look, if you're here for the first time because you're excited to see Make That Magic and Harold, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button. You're going to hit that remind button because we're going to have a lot of fun with them. But we have fun with everybody every single week. We laugh. We have a good time. We talk about Star Wars. But I'm really looking forward to talking to them in a minute. But Nick, it wouldn't be a show without a toast.
It wouldn't be a show without a toast. And because you're so great at, all of the production elements and the videos and the fact that we have a toast for a drink with a piece of toast coming out of a toaster in AI generated Times Square, we lean into the fun sometimes. Yes. I do have a toast tonight. My toast tonight is going to be to a concept, if you will. A lot of times it's a person or the Star Wars community, or as you like to say, John Williams, which John Williams deserves every toast we're going to give him. And I know our guests are going to agree with me on that. But tonight we're going to toast to the spirit of competition, and especially healthy competition. Obviously, the Olympics are going on. That's a lot of excitement. With the Olympics being every 4 years, my 4 daughters, 2 of whom, 2 of the 4, they're twins. So I had, 3 times, 4 kids, that whole deal. But they're 4 years apart. And so it just happened by coincidence that every time one of our kids were born, it was an Olympic summer. And so my wife has these really fond, years and memories of having a new baby and getting to snuggle up on the couch and just watch the Olympics, even overnight feedings, and the Olympics are on the other side of the world. So the Olympics are a big deal in our house. We love sitting down. It's weirder now because as a grown-up who's chronically on social media, I know what happened, but then I tune in for NBC primetime to see it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I already know about this. So it takes a little bit of the fun out of it. I need to pay more attention to work and my real job, not the Olympics during the day, but it's where we are. But I also have to use this moment to throw just a little bit of a shot at you. I don't know if you've been paying attention to baseball lately.
Oh, but yes.
Your beloved Phillies are on just a little bit of a slide, and the lead. And so for anybody who's new tuning in, Pete and I have a bet. I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. Pete is a Phillies fan. And we made a bet at the beginning of the season that when the season ends, whichever team, however many games ahead, is $2 towards the loser having to buy a collectible for the winner of the loser's choice. Yep. So right now, if the season ended today, the Phillies are only up 6.5 games on the Braves, which was 9 last week. So I would owe Pete a $13 Star Wars collectible if the season ended today.
Correct.
But we had a little fun trivia game a couple weeks ago where I won a $20 credit towards the end of the season. So if it ended today, Pete would owe me a $7 collectible is how I think.
I lost my fan card that night.
You lost your fan card when you lost to me in Star Wars Jeopardy, hosted or helped out by our friend Jordan Wilson. But I just noticed that today because I was listening to my favorite sports podcast, and they said, yeah, the Phillies are on a slide. And I went, oh, I've been meaning to check that. So there's a lot of season left. Trade deadline just hit. The Braves did pick up Jorge Soler, which was a big part of the 2021 season. I'm excited about that, but there's a lot of baseball to go. So
it's funny you say that because normally if for those who've been watching, I had been wearing one of the cool new black and white Phillies hats, but since I bought that hat, the slide has happened. So I'm now wearing my old beat up, sweating. So look, the Phillies
never
are
underestimate. Never underestimate the juju in a good piece of fan gear. It's important. So I'm raising my toast tonight to healthy, fun competition, the Olympics, baseball, all the sports we love. I live in the Deep South, so college football is about a month away, and that is basically a religion here. So lots of fun going on. So to everybody who loves something competitive, cheers, and also happy Star Wars.
Happy Star Wars. Yes, tonight I have like this weird concoction of it's like what is it, LaCroix things and vodka and Saint Germain. It's weird. It's refreshing though because it's 147 degrees here in New Jersey.
Correct.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
So
the heat is miserable everywhere. So you can get by how you can.
It absolutely is. Well, we're going to do 2 things tonight in our news segment. We're going to do one news story because there's one thing happening, and then we're going to talk about the news from a friend and connect an unboxing to it. So let's hit the. Well, the news story this week is that the Gina Carano lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm is heating up. We touched on it last week where either that or the week before that Disney tried to get the lawsuit thrown out and it was not thrown out. So it's starting to heat up. Her legal battle against Disney regarding her dismissal from The Mandalorian. The actress is calling for notable figures like Pedro Pascal, and Kathleen Kennedy to testify. Carano, who claims she was discriminated against for her right-wing social media posts, argues that Disney overlooked similar politically charged posts from her male co-stars. In the joint filing, Carano listed potential witnesses, including Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau, ex-Disney CEO Bob Chapek, and Bear Grylls, among others. The trial, tentatively scheduled for September 25th, 2025, is going to explore issues such as Carano's contract status at the time of her termination and alleged unequal treatment compared to male colleagues like Pascal, who made controversial posts about former President Donald Trump. Carano's lawsuit, filed in February, claims Disney and Lucasfilm targeted her for cultural and religious beliefs. What? Yeah, if it's a religion to be an asshole, she's done it. The July 26 court document indicates that Carano also aims to discuss the impact of her firing on potential projects such as canceled spin-off Rangers of the New Republic. Disney, which has denied Carano's claims, plans to call its own witnesses. The case continues to draw attention, especially after a federal judge recently denied Disney's motion to dismiss the lawsuit earlier in the month. It's interesting. This is an interesting sort of development. It's sort of like the way I'll put it. The way I'll put it is, if you ever got on social media and posted something, and your first thought is, "Oh man, this is lighthearted and funny," and then the next thing you know, boom, you're being attacked for saying something insensitive, and people dig up something you said 5 years ago. I don't think Disney expected to see a lawsuit that's going to call Chapek, that's going to call Favreau and Kennedy and Pedro. Nick, we had said pretty strongly a couple weeks ago or last week that this is not going to be settled out of court. Does this change that? What do you? I mean, look, this is not legal. This is not a legal show, generally speaking. But do you think this changes their perspective at all?
You know, it does a little bit, because honestly, I thought, we talked about would it get settled. Honestly, I thought it would be dismissed. I honestly am a little bit surprised that from a legal standpoint, they're moving forward with it. I think you used exactly the right word, which is interesting. Like, we're in a new situation now. This is not what we thought this was going to be. And I have to agree with Brian Finnessy. You said two key important words in the middle of that also, when I read the story the first time, made me look Bear Grylls. Like, please, I need at this point now, I need this to go to trial. I need footage of Bear Grylls on the stand answering questions about somehow how this relates to Gina Carano's contract not being renewed, because lest we forget, she was not fired. Her contract was not renewed, which are two very different things.
Yep.
And it surprises me it wasn't dismissed, but then again, we live in a weird ass world and things are stupid all the time. So there's also that part of me that goes, okay, sure, we're going to go to trial. Now, that doesn't mean it might not still be settled out of court if Disney goes, again, we have too much on our plate. We have stuff going on. Here's some money. Please go away.
Yep.
But we don't know, because also they may go, yeah, we've got the case. And I think they do. So it remains to be seen, but you're bringing in big people. Pascal, who just started filming 2 days ago on Fantastic Four. Favreau, whatever he's working on, his Mando movie. Like, this involves a lot of organization and getting things together that people are going to have to do.
Yeah. And so this is where I will sort of, I'll shift my position. A week ago, I said, settling out of court is an admission of guilt for Disney, and so this works to their advantage. I now am going to lean on, I think they will settle out of court. They don't want to be putting all these people on trial. They don't want to be putting your executives, your biggest names. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I'm Pedro Pascal'd out, but that man is in everything. They don't want to put him in a situation where they could damage him.
They want to keep working with him, and if he gets drug into this, he's going to think twice the next time he gets offered a Marvel, a Disney, a something
or
other
worse,
project.
he's going to get on the stand and say something that's going to hurt his career, and then Fantastic Four goes out the window, right? So,
yeah, which
I
is
think
an even bigger problem farther down the road.
Correct. So I think this absolutely helps her, but this whole thing's just been so interesting to watch. So I'm willing to keep an eye on it for sure. Well, the next thing we're going to do is I don't have a written news story on it, but I'm going to talk about it, and then we're going to do something about it. Our good friend, you remember him from the show, Chris Ryans, who is an occasional co-host. He was our host when this was Force Connect. He just was it this week or the week before?
Yes.
Opened up his online store. It's broaxiumoutpost.com. Good friend of the show. If you have any interest in Star Wars collectibles, G.I. Joe collectibles, He-Man, you name it.
Transformers.
Yes, you name it. He's got it, and he ships. And we know this is true because Nick have an unboxing to do. So I'm gonna do a quick.
Have an unboxing to do, and bear with us. There's a little bit of organization going on here.
Here we go.
And I have to say, this was, and also I love how in the corner of this unboxing picture you see the bottle of whiskey that's hooked up to my whiskey fountain that sits on my desk, because yes, I have a whiskey fountain where you put a glass under it, push a button, and it feeds whiskey in it. And don't look up what kind of whiskey it is. It's cheap. It comes in a plastic bottle. I'm telling you right now. But
he does this a lot.
Yeah, I'm a professional. But also, before I get over here to this box, which is, just right here, this was a big test for me because this box showed up at my office on Tuesday of this week, and I really wanted to open it, and I didn't. I mean, the top is open now because if I've watched enough unboxing videos, I know you kind of have to be prepared. Nobody wants to watch you fumble with, I can't get the tape off the box. Right. So I cut the top of it off or open, but we are going to jump into this box real quick and see. And I can't encourage you enough. Check out Bro Axiom Outpost. Chris is in the chat right now. He even said, everything dropped this week. Chris, drop the link to the website in the chat, please. We want everybody to visit Bro Axiom Outpost. If you're a collector of any kind, action figures, and like you said, multiple things, not just Star Wars, check it out. I mean, this is somebody who's been working in the retail industry, comic book shops, collectibles for
he knows his shit.
His whole career. He knows what he's doing, and he's good people. He's our people.
Yes.
And these are the kind of people that we want to throw our business to. So 100%, there it is right there. broaxiumoutpost.com. Go check it out. Sign up for updates, pre-orders, all that good stuff. So let me get over here because I know we want to get to our guest in just a minute. We're going to pop the top. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Comes prepared with a logo.
Look at that.
I mean, is this professional or what?
It looks good to me.
Outpost. Can you hear me? Is my
yep,
microphone
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna move the microphone and see what happens.
I still think Bro Axiom is one of those names that it's like, I wish I thought of that. It's
a phenomenal name for anything.
Yes.
And it's on the website. There's an explanation of where that name came from, and I knew where it came from, but it just makes it even better. I can't wait to clean up all this stuff later that I'm just chunking over onto the floor. So
I know what that is.
This is the big item. I have to say, this is one that I have been waiting on. I'm going to turn it upside down. Is it more upside down?
Nope, that's good.
Backwards. There we go. I have the regular classic Stormtrooper helmet in my background. I don't have a ton of helmets, but this is the other one that I wanted. This is the one I've been waiting for.
I can tell by the Lego back there, man. This is, yes. Yep.
So my two favorite helmets are classic Stormtrooper, as our guest that we're going to get to in a minute calls them, the White Walkers. So that classic Stormtrooper and Biker Scout. These are the two that are my favorites. I'm not going to open this box right now because I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm going to do a bigger video. We're going to put it up on the YouTube channel, take this out of the box, take a look at it, because I can't tell you how excited I am for this. So this is a big deal. This is something that I've been excited about for a very long time. So let me get this out of the way. And there's a couple other things in this box.
This is like the Yord Horde, like except Team Yord, but it's like Team Bro Axiom, which is better, by the way. I'm just going to put that.
So this one.
Oh, what's
this?
Oh my God!
Actually, Chris told me this was my birthday present. We had a birthday stream back in November.
Wow!
Here we go.
This
is our friend Carson Teva, Paul Sun Young Lee from The Mandalorian. Ooh, I'm so bad at this. Has been on the show with us several times, but this is the Gentle Giant bust of Carson Teva, and I mean, This is not something I normally collect, this line or these figures. But like, if I'm going to, this is the one I'm going to have.
Well, and I'll say be careful because I didn't expect to either. And then I got the Ahsoka, which you can see over my shoulder. And then on the other side, then I got the Rex. And there's about 12 others that I want, which you can purchase at broaxiumoutpost.com. So
yes, you can. All right. And so there's one more thing in this box. This is a mystery box. I don't actually know what this is, but we're going to move away from our overhead camera and I'm going to go back to, real life and hold this up front because it's not so big. And we're going to see what else we got going on here. But let me do this too, because now that I'm reoriented with the camera, I know what I'm doing. Carson Teva, Paul Sun-Young Lee. I mean,
look at that.
If you don't like that guy, I don't know what you're doing. Watch Kim's Convenience. Watch Mandalorian. Like, this is so cool. I can't wait to get it out of the box. Put it in.
Bring your mic back if you can, dude. If you get.
Yep. There we go. Cool. Yes. Get that in my background. Get him going on and there's a knife. Hang on. This is really enthralling. I'm so glad y'all hung around for this.
We will have Make That Magic and Harold after the break. So
yes, we will. We're getting right to him. And this is exactly what I knew it was going to be, because if you have watched this show for any period of time, you know that Pete and I, we do it partially to give Chris a hard time, but we also do it because it's true. We are not comic book guys. But what did my man Chris do for me? He sent me a whole stack of comic books. We've got Dr. Aphra.
It's like the starter kit.
That's right. War of the Bounty Hunters. High Republic. We just watched The Acolyte. I don't know anything about High Republic, but here I am. I've got a comic book about it. This one's upside down. Darth Vader.
Okay, that's the Darth Vader series. One of the few things I've actually read. I can say you're gonna enjoy that. Yoda has a comic book?
Star Wars Revelations. Wow. Some more bounty hunters.
Amazing.
Crimson Reign. That's the other bounty hunter stuff. I think that's got Kira in it. Ooh, actually, this is phenomenal. This is so great. Look at this. Obi and Anakin. This is going to be good. I know that Make That Magic's going to love this. We've got them. We got some episode 3, Obi and Annie going on. 50th anniversary Lucasfilm. That's a collector's one. I'm excited about that. So, all of that to say, I got mail this week and I was pumped, and I can't believe I waited until tonight to open it. But
it's pretty impressive that you waited as long as you did, man.
I did. But go follow Broaxium Outpost. Go buy stuff from Chris. Again, best people I know. One of my, as my wife calls them, my weird space friends, all my Star Wars podcast friends. And I've got to hang out with Chris in real life. We went to Celebration together in Anaheim. And if I'm buying collectibles, I'm going to be buying them from him. That's the way it works. So
there's only 3 people I've met on Twitter that have been to my house. Chris is one of them. So
yes,
Chris is good people. And you definitely want to go check out Broaxium Outpost. That was awesome, dude. And now I can't wait to see you open the Black Series. And actually, I'd love to do a comparison of the Black Series to the whichever one. I don't remember which one this is.
There it is.
Some other version. I'd love to compare them side by side. But
absolutely,
because we have an awesome guest waiting, we're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Make That Magic and Harold. And we're going to talk about seeing Star Wars for the first time in front of thousands of people. So we'll be right back with more ATG Live.
What's up, my fellow Gen X Star Wars fam? My name is Chris Rhines from Broaxium. You may know me from ATG's Force Connect that I co-hosted with Pete and Nick. Now, I'm the owner and operator of Broaxium Outpost, an online shop for all your action figure and collectibles needs like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series and Vintage Collection, Transformers Studio Series, Star Wars action figures, Masters of the Universe, and much, much more, including Star Wars action. All right, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm just saying. Stop by and check out the store at www.broaxiumoutpost.com. Sign up to become a part of the Bounty Hunters Guild and stay updated on new pre-orders, sales, and exclusive Broaxium content. Find something you like? Use the promo code ATG5 for 5% off your first order. We have Star Wars figures, by the way.
Well, we're back. We are talking Star Wars. We are your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. Yeah, there's other Star Wars shows that are live streaming, but not like this one. You got two old guys talking about Star Wars. People who were people who saw it in the theaters on their first runs. We were there at the beginning. We're the ones buying all the stupid helmets and all the collectibles and whatnot. We've not that we're gatekeeping, but we're old, so we've been here for a while. We've been.
Are we age keeping? Is that what we're doing?
I think we might be. Yeah, we might be age keeping, or maybe we're pretty close to, because of our age, ready to be kept somewhere else. I suppose.
Rocking that Gen X age keeping situation.
Well, hey Nick, give us a short, quick explanation of who's coming in, and then we'll bring in our guests.
Absolutely. We have two fantastic guests tonight. I found them literally through the magic of the TikTok algorithm. I guess I'd look at enough Star Wars videos that at some point the force, the magic of TikTok, whatever it is, our Chinese TikTok overlord said, hey, watch this video. And it was this woman watching Star Wars. And it was very apparent from the first time that, like, this person's never seen Star Wars before, but they were reacting to it. And it's hilarious. Like, I have laughed out loud. I have little moments. Like, there are certain things that'll take me out. Like a good outtakes video. Like if you watch outtakes from The Office or bloopers from certain movies or shows, like, will kill me. There'll be moments my wife is asleep in bed next to me and I'm watching like an outtake bloopers video on my phone and I'm laughing but trying to be quiet. So I'm shaking. She's like, what are you doing over there? I'm like, I'm laughing and I'm trying not to wake you up. It's that kind of funny. And so it's Make That Magic, and it's also her fiance Harold, because Harold is a Star Wars fan. Harold was, I'm thinking we're going to learn kind of a little bit of the gateway connecting piece in this. I can't wait to hear the story. But these are videos of her journey watching Star Wars for the first time. They dropped over May the 4th weekend when I was actually up in New Jersey with you. We were hosting Podathon. And at this point, she's done the original trilogy. She's done the prequels, and we're going to find out what else is in store. But I'm so excited to welcome in tonight to Around the Galaxy, ATG Live, Make That Magic, and Harold.
There they are.
Hey, we are.
Hey.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having us.
We're so excited to have you. This is amazing.
Fantastic. We're so excited. The Force told me that y'all wanted to talk. So I said, of course. You know, I got my black and white on because I dabble in the middle of the good and evil. So
I'm thinking more
She's
Beetlejuice.
got that light side
Beetlejuice.
and that dark.
correct. I'm definitely giving Beetlejuice realness.
It totally works either way. We're thrilled y'all are here. Like I said, I found you guys, on TikTok, found your videos. Before we get into the videos, before we get into Star Wars, before we get in kind of, some of the background of all of it, give us just kind of a quick overview, who you guys are.
Sure. So I Make That Magic. I have my own TikTok where I talk about all things nostalgia, one being Star Wars, and I also talk about other things in entertainment. I'm also currently kind of going through watching the Olympics live. I am in the entertainment industry. I do not disclose for who, but I am very deep in the entertainment industry. And so watching these types of movies actually does help me with my day job, which is funny. Yeah.
And I'm Harold. I don't have a stage name. So yeah, I'm very much a casual Star Wars fan. The music is iconic. I didn't even have to watch any of the movies to know what the theme is and the Imperial March and that kind of stuff. So the music, man, look, John Williams, he doesn't miss, does he?
No,
he does not.
But yes, I'm very much a casual Star Wars fan, and it's really been fun watching Make That Magic. Watch this for the first time because those reactions that you got, they were raw. Like there were no rewinds. It was like, oh my goodness, and it was really fun watching here. So to be a part of it, even though I have no stage name, it's a real.
Well, cool. we don't know that Harold isn't your real name. We don't know. I mean.
And I'm Harold. Please put that on the shirt. Somebody said that.
Exactly. Yeah, there's merch opportunities galore here.
Yeah.
Well, Harold, we're actually going to start with you because you brought your fiance into the Star Wars world. You say you're a casual Star Wars fan, and I love that as a like people who kind of there's deep lore nerds like Nick and I call it, but like if you watched our trivia contest a couple of weeks ago, it's embarrassing how little we actually knew about Star Wars. So casual
we
Star
think
Wars
we know
fan,
a lot, and then we don't. Yeah,
there's like so many shades of gray on that spectrum. Tell us a little bit about your original Star Wars journey, and then tell us how you got Make That Magic to watch it.
Man, so I didn't see the actual the first trilogy until I was about late in my teen years, but the first movie I saw was Episode 3 in theaters, and so
I didn't know that. That's devastating. Damn.
Right. It was awesome because I didn't see episodes 1 and 2 before I saw 3, but I knew that 3 was. I mean, we all know who Darth Vader is, right?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so I learned originally from the music and then the parodies on Family Guy and Robot Chicken. So then when I saw Episode 3, I was like, oh, so this is how it happened. And I mean, Episode 3 was amazing. It's by far my favorite movie of the series. So I was like, so that's how we got Darth Vader with the breathing and the Imperial March and this, that, and the third. And from there I just started watching the original trilogy, and I was like, oh no, this is cool. This is real cool. So
and then we'd be watching Family Guy, and he'd be like, you've never seen Star Wars? And I'm like, no.
Right.
No, I was watching Barbie, Nutcracker, and SpongeBob. I wasn't watching Star Wars. I lived in Detroit, Michigan.
Right. So we're walking through Hollywood Studios,
in Disney World.
In Disney World, because this one, she is a huge Disney fan. We go to Disney at least once every year.
That is not my employer. Okay.
Well, I would imagine
I like all the qualifiers.
Yeah.
I'm my employer.
Right. Yeah. Nice disclaimers, right? So we would go to Hollywood Studios, like, oh, it's the White Walker, and she would see the Millennium Falcon, be like, and say, oh, what's that? And I was like, that's the Millennium Falcon. And then you went to Olga's Cantina for the first time in Hollywood Studios. We had to finesse our way into that because
I had no idea who any of these people were. People were coming up to me talking in code, and I said, honey, I have no idea who you are, so I'm definitely not a criminal.
Right. Not one of your people.
Yeah, literally.
Right. So she fell in love with it. We fell in love with the drinks over there because Olga's Cantina is amazing. And the thumbnail that you actually used for this broadcast was taken at Olga's Cantina, and that was that we got engaged. We had Olga's drinks for breakfast that day, and so it was really cool. So to watch her blossom into being like, oh, what's that ship? Or look, White Walkers too. I know that reference.
To falling on the ground when I found out C-3PO was made by Anakin.
Yep, was on the ground.
Yep. I was quite literally filming from the floor.
Yeah, he was on the ground. That was raw too. So. Yeah, to watch her, really dive into it and really get into it it's been fun to watch.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. So it came to us, Star Wars weekend, Star Wars Day, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Manufactured Star Wars holiday, but we'll take it because we're Star Wars nerds.
Yeah,
like Father's Day and Grandparents' Day. It's just
I was gonna say all the other Hallmark card holidays. It's a Disney card holiday,
right?
But you dropped these videos. And so y'all have been clearly talking about this. You've had experiences at Disney. What was the push that said, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this? Like, tell us about how you got to that point.
Positive bullying. And I say this because one of my friends actually worked with J.J. Abrams on the set. She sat in for Lupita. And she was like, Make That Magic. She was like, if you like everything else, but you've never watched Star Wars. And I was like, no. And so one day I didn't have anything to do for work, and it was May 4th. And I said, you know what? I'm going to watch Star Wars. And I said, Harold, I'm going to watch Star Wars. Let me go to episode 1. And he said, babe, no, you have to start episode 4. And I was immediately already annoyed. I said,
well, hold on now. Yeah.
How am I supposed to know everything that's going on with 1 through 3? And so I'm not even kidding y'all. When I started it, I was genuinely annoyed at them starting it in the middle of what I thought was the middle of the series.
Right.
And from the first scene, I was like, oh, this is actually ridiculous as hell. And which means that I need to lean in a little bit more to understand like why everybody loves this. And I would say by the time Darth Vader threw the second bitch on the floor, I said, "Oh yeah, this is me." I need to learn more about him and why he's this way.
Why he's so mad?
Correct.
And R2D2.
Why he is so mad? Yeah.
Okay. And I was going to save that for later, but you brought it up, Harold. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it right. Wait, other side. Dang it. I'm so bad at this. Right here. This whole shelf. Right here. That's all R2D2. Magic, I'm telling you right now, #1 character in all of Star Wars. If you ask me who's my favorite character, R2D2.
People
right
know.
Here,
They know that I always quote my favorite quote that everybody quotes me is "The devil works hard, but R2D2 is working harder," and that is the fact.
Exactly it.
There is not a single movie that R2D2 did not put on his back. And I was tired. I was literally tired for him to the point where I said, you know what, friend, go on and quit. Let this bitch blow up the way that it needs to blow up. And you go on back to wherever Yoga lives, the bodega system, and y'all shit.
The bodega system.
Yeah, he was a real MVP since episode 1. I mean,
100%.
Without saying a word.
100%.
Yeah.
And he had a whole toot about it. You know, when I talk about this occasionally. When I was just to feel extremely old here, I was 7 years old when I saw Star Wars in 1977. But my main memory from seeing it the first time, I remember a little bit of the Death Star battle, and I remember, but my main memory is R2D2 and the Jawas, because that dude was like, you know what, 3PO, you do your thing, man. I got stuff to do. Right.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
I'm out. I'm going.
I got a mission.
I'm going over here.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic.
Did what he had to do.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So after going through all this, and again, I'm just gonna put this up real quick. Again, go follow them on TikTok at Make That Magic, YouTube.com Make That Magic, Instagram with an extra E Make That Magic. I'm guessing somebody else had Make That Magic. It was probably some guy
and I had to put D as in Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, I did.
Yep.
Yes.
Let him know.
Yes.
Let him know. He's probably doing card tricks and whatever.
Right.
Give me that name. I'm gonna go after her. Give me that name.
So, are you Star Wars fans now? Would you call yourself a Star Wars fan? Are you like? I mean,
okay.
Go ahead. All right, sorry.
So, Pete, this is where we are.
I don't know. Make That Magic. I don't know you well. I know you from videos, but I do know if you go, okay, then I'm going to step back. And I'm going to let you go.
Time to listen. Time to sit back and listen.
We are. I said it when I watched episode 4. I think that I'm a Star Wars girly. Okay. I don't know that I'm a Star Wars fan because I still don't know what the hell Emperor Papoose' real name is. And I never will give a damn. Quite frankly, his name is always going to be something that is not respectful because he is a disrespectful whore. So I don't want to actually address him formally. Now, I would say I now have an appreciation for the movies, and I now understand why people who are intense fans, who dress up, who fly to California to, on May 4th to do the lightsaber toast in the Disney parks. I get it because it is a fantastically written film, 4 through 6, 1 through 3. Now, I don't know about the other ones, but 4 through 6, 1 through 3, I can say, yep, those are fantastically done.
Nice.
To me.
Amazing. Well, and so I want to stir up just a tiny bit of controversy for a minute. And it's not bad. It's fun controversy. Okay. Yeah. But you said that about Emperor Papoose. I don't know his real name. I feel like there's a good reaction built into here for this. So I feel like it's worth pointing out. Mm-hmm. His name in universe, I'm going to put it on the screen because Lloyd, our producer, said it in the chat. His name is Sheev Palpatine. And I need you to give me Steve Palpatine versus Sheev Palpatine and how you feel about that being his name.
Sheev Palpatine, the disrespectful. That's his Sith title.
The
disrespectful part is
that part is a joke.
I thought it was literally like first of his name, that kind of thing.
No, his name in universe is Sheev Palpatine.
Sheev Palpatine. I honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is the word palpitations, which is what he gave me when I realized he never used any type of SPF on his skin because it's obvious that he has some type of melanoma.
Yeah.
So that automatically gives me palpitations. Now, is this shade to somebody that I should know? Is there a Steve Palpatine that is a terrible person?
No, that's just like there's a thing in Star Wars with like kind of the funky use of names. Like I'm trying to think of a good example. Like there was one, George Lucas, who I love it again in your videos when you just yell out George Lucas, like what are you doing here? But there was an action figure at some point of a George Lucas figure as a X-Wing pilot, and it was named Yorg Sakul. So like they changed the names around. You know, it's his name but backwards. And so if Sheev Palpatine was connected to something else, I don't know. But like that's the whole built-in part of just crazy names. Oh yeah, George Lucas was also in episode 3 when Anakin turns and they go to the opera, the weird bubble opera when they're talking.
Yes.
He's like in the background walking by in like an extra, and his character is called Baron Papanoida.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
I would have never known.
Yeah, just
Apparently,
weird
also
stuff.
the kids told me that E.T. was in one of the
in the big Senate scene. In the
I was
Senate
like,
when
what?
they're all in their little pods.
Yeah.
Yep, there's ETs in there.
No, I wasn't.
And I think
looking at
are
any
the
of
ETs at the pod race too, Pete? Is that right?
No, I think they're just in the. In the
Senate scene. So
Yeah.
when they're in that big room with all the little, seats and all the different representatives. So here you go. This is a good one. Newt Gunray. You said it in one of your videos.
Wow.
When you said the accent is disrespectful, those weird aliens, episode 1 when they're locking up Padme. Newt Gunray was based on Newt Gingrich. Early,
Wow.
Well, I didn't
Lucas
know
pulling in those 90s politics, all that kind of stuff.
I was truly about to. I was going to call Maxine Waters on those script writers. I said, "You got one more time to make somebody's accent is this disrespectful before I call the cops."
Yeah, same thing with Watto. His little flying blue, borderline on like a Jewish stereotype. Like, what are we doing
Yes,
here?
him too. Yeah.
Can I tell you when I was, because again, I'm an older gentleman. I was at the premiere for Phantom Menace in New York City, and I remember when episode 1. When those guys came out with those accents, I was like literally, we were all looking around like, is this the right movie? Like, are they intending to do that? Because this, I
genuinely looked at Harold. I said, I know they fucking lying. I didn't say that to him. He said, no, they're serious. I said, no.
This is real.
Between who's the other character that
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar.
Let me tell y'all something. Hell no. Hell no. Still, and I know there's a lot of controversy with that actor. He got a lot of flack for that, and I do understand. It's still a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
So you didn't like the
one.
character, or you didn't like the presentation?
Both.
Or both. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't enjoy his character, and I didn't enjoy his presentation either.
Okay.
So we saw episode 3, and she was like, "Oh, we got no lines from Jar Jar Binks. All right, I'm cool with that."
Yep, moving on. This is a great one from our friend Tommy. Mace Windu was originally supposed to be Tupac.
That's what I heard.
That blows my mind. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's Morgan Freeman, or not Morgan Freeman.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson, who requested that his lightsaber be purple because he's a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I don't know if y'all knew that.
That is correct. Yes,
crazy.
That's a big part of that lore. Like, and if anybody's going to show up and tell George Lucas, the creator of this whole thing, hey, this is what I want, Sam Jackson is going to be the one to do it. Correct. Yeah. Not everybody gets to do that. Ewan McGregor didn't get to show up and go, hey man, this is what I want to do. He said, thanks for the job.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well,
so you said you haven't watched 7, 8, and 9.
No.
Have you watched any of the Disney Plus shows? Do you have intent to watch any of them? Are you, and let me ask it from a second perspective. There's 2 reasons to watch it. Number 1, of course, is more content, baby. Content. Right? But number 2 is, like, are you curious to see where it goes in 7, 8, and 9? And are you curious about any of the shows on Disney Plus?
I am interested to see where it goes in 7, 8, and 9. But as of now, I think that because of how great the first 6 were, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right with accepting where we are, with accepting that Anakin looks like a Cornish hen from Boston Market. And under that outfit, I accept where we are. what I do think I will watch is Rogue One. And that's because everyone has told me, listen, Fran, please, if you can just watch this. I do think I will watch Rogue One. I watched Mandalorian a little bit with Harold. This was a while. This was like during the pandemic we were watching. And I just remember being like, I know none of this lore, but Baby Yoda is cute.
That's it.
And this is why he's on every t-shirt, and everybody people who've never seen a Star Wars are like, I know who Baby Yoda is.
I say it all the time. My mom, who's almost 70 years old, doesn't care about Star Wars other than she knows her son loves it. And when Mandalorian started, my dad started watching it. She's like, ooh, I want a Baby Yoda stuffed animal for Christmas. I'm like, wait, what happened here? Marketing works, baby.
When it comes to merch, Disney is gonna win, because let me tell y'all something. I'm absolutely getting a lightsaber when I get there, and I don't give a damn how much it is. I'm buying one.
What color will it be?
Do they have pink? Do they have a pink?
Not that I know of.
I don't think.
Well, then I'll do green.
What about purple if they had it?
No, I gotta leave that to Samuel L.
That's Sam. That's right. There's a reverence there. There's an importance to that. Well, I'll say this. Yeah, exactly. I'll say this. I highly encourage. First of all, I want it selfishly because I just want to watch you react to 7, 8, and 9. And it is, it's the Skywalker saga, as we call it. Those 9 movies. It follows that whole arc. Like, I feel like there's, it makes sense for you to do that, but your choice to do Rogue One makes 100% sense because it's a fantastic movie, and it's there may not be as much humor in that one, but it's still worth the reaction because it's a great movie. Like,
I will say
movie.
Because of the Leslie Jones Game of Thrones connection that I got watching you watch this stuff. Rogue One, she's gonna lose her shit on something. I can't wait for it. I'm excited.
But at that point, so then
have you seen it, Harold?
So,
sorry, Nick.
No, I did, but it was like background noise at the time. So I would be experiencing this for the first time.
Oh, with me, okay.
Yeah, so I'm
awesome.
looking forward
That's
to
even
that.
better.
Now let me let y'all in on a little secret, because I've not told the people on my TikTok this. Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, he was going to be my favorite character.
Until
he was going to be a villain that had a point to me. Until he killed all them children.
Yep.
When he went in that room and he slayed those babies, I said, you know what? There is no hope for you, girl. I'm so sorry. I gotta cross you off the list. That really took me out. However, I still to this day, I think I used to say that the Grinch was one of the greatest villains. I now think he may be one of the best written villains that I've experienced in my adulthood, because his character is so complex, and he is the child of a sharecropper who was a slave, and he's now trying to find a way to have some power. And I told y'all, I said there was no way before episode 3 that y'all were gonna make me hate a child of a slave. As the grandchild of a sharecropper, hell no, I was on his side. And then he killed those children, and I said, no, you're not like us. Like Kendrick Lamar said.
But see, this is so interesting to me because, again, we are such deep Star Wars fans, and like we know about all the comic books, and we know all the side stories, and we know like blah 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 blah. And to me, Darth Vader, and I've gotten some flack for this online because Darth Vader has never had a win in his life. He loses every single time, right? So to me, he's
like Ben Stiller and Meet the Parents.
Correct.
Literally.
But to hear it from your perspective, and again, I watched 1 through 9 with my daughter when she was this was before Rise of Skywalker. So anyway, so we watched them all the way through, and it was interesting to get her perspective because everybody gets their own surprise, their own sort of, oh, I didn't realize that was it. But to hear you say that is really interesting because you're right. Lucas did a great, and it's a testament to Lucas because he took this episode 4 through 6, just big, just scary looking dude.
Yep.
And then he made him cute, and I feel bad for him. And then at the very end, he was like, no, you cannot root for this guy. What can I do to make it so that you remember that he's one of the most evil people in the galaxy? Oh yeah, he'll kill some kids. And that does it, right? So yeah.
And he says it even in that scene, when he goes to get his mom, and that I killed him, the women and the children too. He says that to Padme before he turns around and straight up kills other little kids. So
and
like,
I said that in the
it
video.
builds.
I said, I said, he's turning. I was like, he just killed that whole encampment of people.
That's
He's
exactly
turning.
it. You said he's turning. That's it. Well, and so this is my encouragement. 7 through 9 is worth it, just because I think, finishing out the arc, finishing out those, 9 movies, the Skywalker saga. Rogue One is a fantastic movie. I would love to see you respond to it. My other point becomes, at that point, you've done 10 of the 11. The Han Solo movie where Han Solo is young, there's some funny stuff in there that I would love to see you react to also.
Okay.
So this is my push to say, plug them in.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to, Nick, I will take your consideration, and let me look at my schedule.
That's right. And not that you don't have other things going on.
Oh my gosh, a whole wedding next month. So
that's right. When you get around to it.
Yeah,
yes.
You can wait till after the wedding. We'll be patient enough. But look, we're demanding TikTok fans, and we want what we want from Make That Magic.
We just want more of the magic. That's right. And we need to make sure we pepper in the appropriate amount of screams to Harold off camera on the couch with his phone in hand, just like Harold, and he's looking at you going, I told you.
Those were genuine screams of terror.
No doubt. No doubt. This has been so much fun. We're so thankful that y'all have taken some time to hang out with us, to talk about your journey. It's so much fun to watch. Everybody that's watching right now, if you're not following them on social media, TikTok, Make That Magic. YouTube, go to the channel, Make That Magic. Instagram, the Make That Magic. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. You're going to laugh. You're going to make your spouse who's asleep in bed next to you wonder, what are you laughing at? It's that kind of funny. Tell us what y'all have got coming up. Obviously, you've got a wedding coming up. What else do you want to plug? This is your chance. Tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much, Nick and Pete, for having us. Right now, I am currently live watching the Olympics.
Nice.
And I watched the opening ceremony and kind of did some feedback on that. So if you are watching the Olympics currently on my TikTok, that's what I'm covering. I will also be covering some Twilight Zone episodes that I've always
I saw that. I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. I love that.
Yes. Yep. And I have a huge fall lineup, one being Tales from the Crypt and Believe It or Not, Fact or Fiction. So if you remember those shows, I told you all things nostalgia, you are going to enjoy this fall.
I got to ask, because I didn't see it anywhere in your TikTok feed, but I probably didn't hit all of it. What did you think of Gojira in the opening ceremonies?
Okay. Remind me of who that is.
That was the metal band. The super heavy metal. Yeah.
I quite literally told Harold, I said, let me tell you something about a heavy metal drummer. Put them in the church. They are the most skilled people.
They got it.
I work in the industry. I have always respected those guys. They are skilled.
Yeah.
Truly fantastic.
Sure.
I just had to ask, because to me, that was like the Olympics has gone up a level for me, and I'm all in now.
I know I got a lot of flack. People were like, this is not better than Beijing. I'm like, to me,
yes, it is.
I think they might have just put that up there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, make sure you're following Make That Magic and Harold. And I'm guessing Harold's real name is probably like Steven or something. When he's just going with, he's got the moniker. We're going with that. We'll never know. We'll never know. But thank you guys so much. This has been so much fun. Make sure you're following them and keeping up with everything. And let us know when you watch Rogue One, and we'll make sure to promote it here as well to all of our friends. So
I sure will. Definitely will. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Y'all be safe out there. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. Take care, guys. And we're going to be right back with more ATG Live. Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for everything Star Wars. Look, we have fun with TikTokers. We don't know what's happening on TikTok. We have a TikTok channel. Every now and then a video will get like 11,000 views and I'll go, I don't know what the hell I did, but that worked.
I say all the time, I'm too old to be on TikTok, but there I am anyhow.
There I am watching, but it's because you find crazy fun stuff like that. They were so much fun. I love that. That was super cool. And seriously, go check it out. Like I was saying to them before, I referenced it real quickly. If you liked Leslie Jones doing her reactions to Game of Thrones, this is reminiscent of that in just a different way in a series that you absolutely love as Star Wars fans. So. Well, Nick, we have one more segment to do tonight, and we don't have a show to watch right now, which is part of where we are. So we are going to take a look ahead and have a conversation about that.
Always in motion is the future.
There we are. Star Wars, guys. There's no show this week. There hasn't been a show for a couple weeks, and it's felt a little bit strange.
Weird.
But we did get some news this week. We found out that Skeleton Crew is coming on December 3rd. It's the first date that I've missed, Nick. I'm going to say that I missed this one, although I didn't miss it by much. I'd initially said December 18th. That was my prediction. I've gotten the other ones right within a week. This one I missed. It's December 3rd. Skeleton Crew is coming, and the promise of the show looks amazing. Jude Law said when they asked him one word to think about for the show, he said joyful. We saw some of the pictures. In just a couple weeks, we have Star Wars Outlaws coming out today. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the whatever they call it, I call it rejiggered, but I don't know if that's a real word. We use that one, and we also have an amazing series of books coming soon. So that's what's coming up on the horizon. I'm going to bring in Lloyd to join us to be part of this conversation because we have. Hello, Emperor Papoose. How are you doing?
The name is Peeve Shalpatine. Thank you.
Pet peeve Shalpatine. So first let's start with this. I don't know if you guys can hear the growling outside my studio. I have Puppy and a dog that are just, I think they might be murdering each other. I don't know. I expect to go out and see.
I'm surprised you haven't heard my 80-pound pit bull snoring.
So what are you excited about that's on the horizon, and where are we in your mind with Star Wars now that the Acolyte is over? How are we feeling about what the horizon holds? Nick or Lloyd, go for it.
Lloyd, go.
Oh, damn. Outlaws, I think, is really what I'm looking forward to the most. The more that comes out about it, I'm really getting more excited about it. It's basically just Red Dead Redemption 2 in space.
And I've tried
kind of okay with it.
I've been trying to ignore a lot of the, because we weren't invited to go out and, be part of the playtesters or whatever all those other people were. I've been trying to ignore a lot of the details, but it does look like a lot of fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. Like that's something that's missing right now. A lot of just everything is just fun. For the past couple of years, I've seen a lot of things just kind of devolve into dollars and cents instead of just what happened to just having fun. And I think for me, Outlaws is really just going to hit that. It's just going to be fun.
Yep.
I don't care about expansions. I don't care about skins or packs or I don't care. I just want fun. If the game is fun, I'll spend money on it. That's what matters. Right. So I'm really just kind of, here we go.
Yeah,
it's not. It doesn't look corporate.
Exactly.
I say that with bated breath. It's not corporate. I'm hoping.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
What about you? What about you, Nick? I know you have a Nintendo, an NES still.
That's right, classic NES 8-bit. So
I got
when they put Outlaws
in my living room. Is that too advanced for you?
When they put NES Outlaws out, I'll buy it. In the meantime, what's it called? Skeleton Crew thing is very exciting for me.
Yep.
I love seeing the little snapshots. My favorite post I think I've seen so far is of the one little kid alien that says minimum Rebo instead of max Rebo. That made me laugh out loud.
Yep.
But I'm excited. Of course, I'm excited for shows, and we're going to get into this in a minute just because I know you've got some questions kind of for us to dig into, Pete. But Jude Law talking about, the word joyful, somebody else in one of the articles said, something for families to focus on in December. Somebody else made the comment, I love a December Star Wars release. I agree. It's the holidays. In theory, it's cold. I live in Alabama, so it's not really. But like the family element of it and the younger generational thing. I have an 8-year-old and like she's still kind of my buddy. And there's certain things like, hey, Dad, can I come sit with you and can we play Fortnite together? Hey, can we, do this thing? I'm kind of excited about the opportunity to go, hey, Kelly, do you want to watch this show with me? It's a Star Wars show. I think you'll like it. Like I'm excited for the opportunity to do that with one of the younger members of my household and, see how they react to it because it does have that, everything we've been sold is Amblin, Goonies, E.T., kind of vibes. The pictures, you said this on Twitter, Pete, that picture of them in the field with the little bikes or speeders or whatever they are, they have the tassels off the handlebars, just like we all had in the 70s and 80s.
No way.
Like, give me as much of that as we can. Wholesome, fun. And I also just wait for, the weird pirate guy, not Salad the Hutt, but the other guy that was in Mando season 3 that disappeared in his ship. He's going to show up in this show. I'm all but certain of it.
So here's the question though. And I think if you think about it from exactly, I agree with you 100%, Nick. We talk about it all the time. My dad says that, the litmus test for Star Wars is, does Jack like it? My 11-year-old son, does he like it? And I have a sense already that this is going to be down his alley. But does Star Wars, does Lucasfilm, does Disney need to refocus right now? Because let's face it, Star Goonies, nice. Whether you like the Acolyte or not. And, and last week we talked about how it's been the first time that Star Wars fans, the people who are, shillier than us, are even willing to finally get real about, that wasn't exactly what I wanted, or this is what we need, or whatever. How does Disney respond and react to the blowback of the Acolyte? And because you got this show, which looks like it's going to be fun, made for kids and focusing on those key Star Wars target audiences, and then the show after that is going to be Andor, which of course is heavy and exciting. But Rogue One and Andor are the heaviest of the heavy when it comes to Star Wars. So what does Lucasfilm have to do to keep this or to get this train perhaps back on track?
It's Nick's turn, not mine.
Okay. As far as what does Lucasfilm need to do? I think that they need to spend more time letting the marketers and the storytellers do what they do, not let the accountants do what they do. I think we've been in a mode where we're cranking out so many things because there's budgets to fill. And when you have Law, when you have a Ewan McGregor, when you have a Pedro Pascal, like that costs money. And when you're building new technologies like the volume, go with things that feel natural. Like I kind of want this to be a little bit more of a gut Star Wars LFL situation.
Yeah.
Go with something that feels natural. Don't feel like, oh, it's time to release something because it's been 3 months.
Yep.
I said it last week. I've said it a couple of times, maybe even online. It's okay to miss Star Wars as a Star Wars fan. I'm glad to go, God, I can't wait for the next Star Wars thing to come out. I don't need to be on a schedule. I'm going to watch it. If you give it to me, I'm going to watch it. Skeleton Crew comes out in December. If you give me the next animated anthology thing, I'm going to watch it. If you put it in front of me, I'm going to watch it. But I'm also equally as interested in take your time, give it the amount of episodes it requires. Let the story develop. Let the creatives do their thing, not put it out. And Brian has a good point in the chat. Star Wars Lego Rebuild the Galaxy, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
That's another crazy, funky, whatever. And KG, literally saying it, everything I said with better words and fewer words. I'm loving all the content we get, but there should be a focus on quality over quantity.
Yep.
Don't give me things because you feel like you have to. Oh, it's time again. I'm fine to miss Star Wars. There's enough stuff banked up that I can go back and watch if I'm really missing Star Wars.
Yep. I think you're right, and I think we've proven that you come back, people will come back to it. What about you, Lloyd? What are your thoughts on this?
They need to go back in time a little bit, okay? And I'm not saying this because I love games as much as I do, but they really, really need to go back to this kind of era. Okay, they need to, and I'm not saying that simply because, again, I like games. Those games came out in less than a year together, and they're arguably the two greatest Star Wars stories ever told.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. If Disney would just let the creators cook instead of forcing them onto some weird deadline or forcing them to make something that doesn't really need to be made, I think we'll be in good hands. Like,
because I would love to see the data that shows does subscription numbers tick up when a new Star Wars show hits or when a new Marvel show hits? I would venture to say probably not.
No,
I think at this point.
I think
they have what they have at this point for the most part.
It doesn't, and it's because people, I think, are just getting. I want to say it's gotten the Marvel effect where we're just bombarded and oversaturated with the same kind of content. And I'm not saying that I don't want it. Right? It's Star Wars. Shit. Look at my background. My point is, like, I want it, but I want it done well, you know? And I'm not saying that Acolyte was bad. I enjoyed it. It had its issues. Absolutely. But it wasn't like the worst thing on the planet. I loved Mandalorian. I thought it was great. But they need to let the creators do what they need to do and just let them marinate it for a little bit, but they're not.
And again, I truly believe, I've been in marketing, I've been in communications, I've done all that stuff. I think Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will survive without another Star Wars show for a year and a half. I think a ton of people will go there, right?
We've had Star Tours for like 40 years now, or 35 years now, or whatever.
It's still there. You can still do Star Tours. It's doing fine.
Yep.
It doesn't need new content to keep it going. And here's the thing. If I'm being perfectly honest, and I've said this many times, I still haven't been to Galaxy's Edge yet. It's on my list. I'm going to get there one day. Haven't been. Was in California, was like a mile away from it. Haven't been.
Yep.
But I've been to Star Tours at Hollywood Studios in Orlando. If you asked me right now, which one are you picking? I might well pick Star Tours because of the nostalgia and the feelings and the connection and it's classic. And that kind of feeds into that same thing. Like, you don't have to keep up. Like, Star Wars is a rock. Star Wars is a cornerstone. And I'm not saying don't give us new things. I want new things. I want more things.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. But it's okay to take your time and let those things be. Let the artists do what the artists do. That's it.
Yeah, just let them marinate.
Let them cook, as the kids say.
Well, yeah, and
Brian, I use that term too.
I know. Brian says, which creators have complained that they were restricted? I don't think any have. I don't recall seeing anything about that. But what I do think, if anything, it may be sort of the stress of trying to get the next Star Wars out. And look, I mean, we said it last week. I think you can see some of the impact of trying to get things going. Do you think? I'll ask it this way. This past week, of course, we had at San Diego Comic-Con, where Brian was hosting, as was his lovely wife, doing some amazing stuff on panels there. We had Robert Downey Jr. returning as Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom. We also had the release of Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine. Sorry, Ryan. That's Ryan Reynolds. I know I didn't get that right.
He watches. He's mad at you. He's mad at you.
He's pissed. I'm sure I'm going to get the text later.
I see you have his personal line. Yes,
sure. Yeah, of course. But Marvel is it feels like it's back. It's hard to say that after just one movie and after just one reveal. But it feels like what I noticed was we saw the 2 Avengers movies, but we also didn't see 640 other movies coming in between, which is what they've done in the past, right?
Right.
do you think Star Wars is learning from this? I still go back to, and I'll say, I know I asked a question and I'm going to say something, but I still believe a lot of people said, well, isn't there a Kevin Feige movie that's supposed to be coming out? I don't think there's a Kevin Feige movie. I think Lucasfilm is paying Feige as a consultant to say, how do we build this universe better?
He's a structural business consultant, not a, hey, creative, let's make a movie consultant.
Correct. And I think the fact that we don't know about 14 other Star Wars shows on the horizon, we know that there's an Ahsoka 2 probably. We know that the Mando and Grogu, right? We know the Mando and Grogu film is started production. We don't know if there's an Acolyte season 2. We don't know if there's a Mando season 4. So do you think they're learning? Do you think with the Marvel reset, Star Wars is kind of following in a similar path right now? No? Expound on that, Lloyd.
Damn. I think they've gotten too comfortable. I think Disney in general, just Disney in general. I'm not saying it has to do with Gilroy or Feig or you know, Kathleen, the dreaded KK. I don't think it has anything to do with her. I think it just comes down to the fact that once you put Star Wars on something,
right,
people will buy it.
Right.
Like, that's just it. When Mandalorian, I think season 2 came out, I can't remember walking into a store and not seeing an entire section of just nonsensical Star Wars Mandalorian branded crap. Okay. You put Star Wars on it and people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they've just gotten too complacent and too comfortable.
But will they? I mean, the Acolyte, it feels like the Acolyte was the first thing people were like, I don't know if I'm going to buy this.
I think it's because it was the High Republic. They pushed the High Republic so hard, but they didn't really expand on anything unless you read the books. But the fact of the matter is, the modern generation doesn't care about books. They don't. They're not going to sit there and read a 400-page novel just to find out who Yord was or Vernestra Rowe. They're not going to care.
But listen,
it becomes Pete's comment about, does a movie or a TV show come with homework?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to know something else in order to do it?
Well, and that was
driving people away.
Correct. And that's what I think, you know, you heard Make That Magic say, I watched the first 6 movies. They're good. I get it. I'm done. I mean, and that might be where a lot of people, we forget that 95% of the Star Wars fans in the world
like us.
Are not the ones like us, the ones on Twitter, the ones on social media. They're just people who just watch the stuff.
Even our dads, Pete, we use that metric literally all the time, both of our fathers.
And they wouldn't care as much if we didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
I hate using this as an example, okay? But this was the perfect self-contained story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beginning, middle, end. There you go. Done. All right. And then the sequel came out. Beginning, middle, end. I didn't need to read 4 different books and 5 different comic books to understand one character. I could play the game, be like, that person's mean. I don't like him.
Right.
And finally,
and I think that's why Acolyte actually worked. And the bitch of it is the people online who drove people away, because I really feel like you could watch the Acolyte and not even know that it took place 100 years before the Phantom Menace or 100 years after it. It didn't matter. It was a cool self-contained story that I want more of the story. I wish there was better, blah, blah, blah. We can go into the details on that another day, but it worked on its own. And that's, you know, the first 2 seasons of Mando did a great job of introducing characters from animation that we got to know in that space. But I think Acolyte, though, I mean, maybe it's a bigger question of how do they combat the grifting YouTubers who are literally causing people not to watch the show or to deliver a negative opinion into the world, because 3.3 million subscribers subscribe to Bricks and Screws, and those words,
how dare you?
Those words that come from his mouth and come from the people who he has on his show go right back out into the public. I literally will hear from my son or some of his friends things like, we could have had Maul in the sequel trilogy. I hope Make That Magic's not watching. I don't want to ruin it for her. We could have had Maul in the sequel trilogy, but Disney didn't do it. And I'm like, dude, you're 10 years old. Where are you hearing this from? And why does it matter? And why are you pissed off about that? Do they go after that or do they?
They should.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. At this point, Lucasfilm knows that no matter what they put out, people are going to hate it regardless. And it doesn't even have to be live yet. We've experienced that with Acolyte. The show wasn't even aired, and people were already review bombing it. At this point, the gloves
they were review
off.
bombing the wrong thing.
Right.
Let's get into let's call a spade
be?
Here. This was not about the show. This was about a concept or an idea, or as we like to say, woke up and
they don't even know what that word means.
Right.
Okay,
they don't, and that's what makes it funny. But
they don't even know what the word woke means.
Yeah.
Okay, they throw it out because I'm sorry, I've had a little bit to drink tonight, so we're gonna deal with this. Okay, the New Yorker is coming out in me. But the fact of the matter is, they don't even know what that word fucking means. Sorry, language, and it irritates me, right? Because at this point, Lucasfilm needs to stop playing nice. All right. They need to realize that no matter what they put out, people are going to hate it for just existing. It doesn't even have to be consumed yet. Okay. There needs to be someone or a team on their PR that just claps back and be like, you know what, bricks and screws, motherfucker. Guess what? That X-Wing from 1977 was made out of plywood and some El Camino nonsense held together with wood glue and spit and good wishes.
Yeah.
All right.
Ping pong tables in the parking lot.
But I'll interrupt you for a second, though, because what you were saying was like, all they got to do is put the Star Wars name on it and it works.
Right, but that's the
there's 3 million people following another guy who says screw this stuff, so they got to take that. They have to intercept that, right? They have to intercept that. Otherwise, putting Star Wars on it isn't going to be enough. Last question. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This got me riled up. Thanks, Pete.
Yes.
Okay. I deal with inmates on a daily. I don't need this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Inmates are running the asylum.
All right. Oh, here we go. I gotta roll my shoulders here. All right. So my point is this, right? Like Star Wars. I'm gonna name drop him. I'm sorry. Theory himself has gotten very comfortable with the content that he's created, and he doesn't care if it's correct or not. He knows that it's going to bring in the money.
Right.
All right. That's the problem. If Lucasfilm were to match that energy, but just on the opposite end of that spectrum, and be like, here's why this dude is wrong, and here's why this is our Star Wars and not this fucking bald guy's. Okay. Here we go. This is why Star Wars was made.
Yeah.
They could do something. Right.
So here I'm putting the call out to Lucasfilm. Hire me. I will be your social media manager, and we will put things together, and we will we'll go after that stuff. I don't disagree. I think they need to build. They need to kind of defend against it. But the last question I'll ask you guys, because we are coming to the end of our time. How are they going to handle Skeleton Crew? What are your thoughts on how they're going to promote it? How are they going to avoid? Will they be able to avoid, because it is a show about kids? Will they be able to avoid child actors? Will they be able to avoid the Acolyte bullshit? I've already seen people saying one of those kids is probably gay. I mean, come on, it's kids.
If you're going after a child, you need professional help that we can't give you.
Yep.
Yep. Straight up. Like, so pardon the language, but if you're going after kids, fuck you. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
What's going on here?
Yep. I couldn't agree. But of course, we live in a world though where
it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really want them to change their marketing to stoop to that level. I think honestly, this wins if they market it as a kids show.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Star Wars was a kids movie. Dark Crystal, kids movie. Goonies,
Mm-hmm.
kids movie. E.T., kids movie. Who loved it? The parents.
100%.
Just go after that market. That's what I say.
Lean into it. I mean, again, just based on the little bit of stuff we've seen so far, as somebody, and again, I consume every Star Wars you give me. Like, that's just a matter of fact. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
But when the stuff dropped this week, the Entertainment Weekly stuff, the pictures, the Jude Law comments, the first thought I had independently of any of that crap was, I can't wait to watch this with my 8-year-old. Like, as a parent, like, you're telling me this is something that families are going to want to get involved in? Let's go. I'm in for it.
Absolutely.
I think if they were just to stick with the whole Goonies in space thing, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
The problem is they're not going to advertise it. I'm calling it now. They're going to do it exactly the way they did with Acolyte. They're going to drop one little 10-second thing here and there and everywhere, but they're not going to actually
isn't that interesting?
put their marketing weight behind it.
And so let's talk about that for just a minute, because you bring up a really good point. We've come out of the pandemic. We've come out of the writer's strike over the last year. Like, Ahsoka didn't get the promotion. Like, we talked about that, a year ago. You didn't have people on Jimmy Kimmel. You didn't have Rosario Dawson. You didn't have, Paul Sun-Young Lee. We didn't have people, Hayden out on these shows, doing the circuits, doing the whatever. And we talked earlier about, Marvel and Star Wars and the differences and who's doing what. And I know Deadpool and Wolverine is a movie versus a TV show, but like, put some people out there, like put some people in front of, put Jude Law on everything.
Put Jude Law on everything. Yep.
Put, make it, we're going to get, what's Agatha All Along. We're going to get that coming up at some point. I think in October, maybe. I guarantee Marvel, we're going to see what's her name. Yeah, it's Marvel, but what's her name? Catherine Hahn. We're going to see Catherine Hahn literally everywhere. I think maybe Marvel has the PR machine that maybe Lucasfilm needs to spend some time learning from. Like, put some of those kids out there. Let's be excited about these cute kids and who's in it and what they're doing.
Well, let's Stranger Things this thing, right? Let's get. I mean, who sold Stranger Things better than? Who is the kid who wears the baseball hat with curly hair?
Oh, he's missing the teeth.
I mean, that kid made you want to watch Stranger Things. You saw him in interviews. You're like,
I love him.
Yeah, exactly. Get out there and do it. The only challenge will be the fact that show has been wrapped for over a year. So those kids probably look nothing like that.
They're all like 35 now.
Right.
They're 110.
They're all driving.
They're still doing season 5.
Yeah. Right. One of them is married to Bon Jovi's son. So
Gatton Matarazzo. Yeah. Brian.
Matarazzo.
Thank you.
Gatton Matarazzo. Something like that.
Thank you. Well,
but that's the problem. They're not going to advertise it. They're gonna stick with their plan, their current Star Wars slate.
So let's ask this, and I keep dragging this out, but we talked about it, Pete, when they did. Was it Mando 1 or 2? Mando 2, when you were on Good Morning America and they did the whole like that feels like the last
Bad
big
Batch.
Star.
No, that was Bad
That
Batch.
was a proper media blitz.
Was it really Bad Batch?
It was Bad Batch because it hit on May 4th. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that was a good.
That's
media
my
blitz.
point. When's the last time they did a legitimate media coverage, top to bottom, all the things?
I this is where I think you guys are on the right track, but I think they're further along than we're giving them credit for, because I think they tried to do it with Acolyte, but nobody cared about the cast, right? Zhang Jie was amazing, but a Korean actor, English is his English is his second language. Yeah, Daphne Keane, who literally had a very small part in the show and was only known from Wolverine. You had Carrie Ann Moss, who nerds love, but I don't know that it was big enough. You have Jude freaking Law here. You have one of the biggest actors who may have ever been in a Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah.
Or TV show or anything. Get him out there. Make this Jude Law's show. Everybody loves Jude Law's smile. Get him out there having fun, talking about how much fun he had doing the show with the kids, and promote the hell out of this. Promote it like a movie, and say a prayer to the maker that it doesn't look like it was shot on the volume. That is my biggest concern with this.
I love the volume, but it's too much at this point. They need to go back to that real world shooting location.
Yeah. Yep.
Give me Tunisia.
Yeah.
Give me Guatemala. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Give me Norway in winter when they couldn't even leave their hotel. All right.
Exactly.
Give me that Louisiana swamp that somehow became Naboo. I don't know. All right. Like, give me. I don't need the volume every
Chris
2
Ryan's.
seconds.
Gimme. That's
it. I don't
Hashtag
need
gimme.
some 100-inch digital screen. I want that real feeling that Star Wars had.
Yep. I'm down.
You
with
know.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens over the next several months as we go down the line. Next week, we'll be back with more Star Wars news. And Nick, do we have a guest lined up for next week?
We do have a guest next week. Our guest next week is going to be Kelsey Puckett. Kelsey is the producer for Never Tell Me the Odds, which, if any of you have been watching us and keeping up with us over the last several months, Never Tell Me the Odds is the official Star Wars podcast of ESPN, hosted by our friends Arda O'Cal, Ryan McGee, and Clinton Yates. Kelsey is also a huge Star Wars fan, produces, works with those guys. And as we have had all three of them on the show, they were like, yeah, we're glad to do this, but here's who you need to talk to.
Here's the real Star Wars person.
Yeah, here's the real Star Wars person. So Kelsey is going to be on with us next week. We actually exchanged emails earlier today. She's excited to join us, and I can't wait to talk to her and talk about her Star Wars story.
Nice. Well, we have a ton going on. There may not be a lot on the television or in the theaters right now, but there's a lot of news coming out, so we're going to keep up on top of that. You can join us every Thursday night starting, I think, next week. We have to check with our guests, but starting next week, we're going to be moving to 9 o'clock. It is football season, and my son is playing, which means that I will not be able to be here for 8 o'clock. So moving to 9 o'clock, at least through the end of the year, and we'll see where it goes from there. But join us. Oh, Chaco, you missed everything. Don't worry, I'll send you clips, buddy. Don't worry about it. You're good.
That's right. And this is the beauty of YouTube. We're going to be done in like 30 seconds. You can load it right back up and watch, and it's totally worth it. Make that magic and Harold so good.
To upload though, Nick.
No, we're there. We're there immediately. We're good.
We're good. We got the
Ryzen Fios, baby.
That's right. We're working the YouTubes. So, gentlemen, this has been a blast, and we will be back again next week. Nick, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.